one of the most shocking comebacks you've ever seen?
Shocking, and I think for me, what makes it even more surprising is if you go back a few weeks, the last time these two teams played, it was a similar situation where the Bears were down a bunch. If you remember, they needed the onside kick, 2-point conversion, one in overtime. Generally speaking, Jay, when you get burned like that and you play the same team 5 weeks later, 4 weeks later, you speak as a coach, as a staff, hey, this team does not go away. We need to make sure this doesn't happen. And once again, Caleb Williams cooked them late.
Yeah.
361 passing yards.
Oh, this is the Caleb Williams moment. We'll always remember it.
I couldn't get over this story right here. I mean, again, for as much as he needs to grow, some of the plays he's able to make in crunch time, you got to find it impressive. And if you're Green Bay right now, you are just at an utter loss for words. And I hate to bring it up. But your kicker today missed 2 field goals. Yeah, one was 55 yards. Well, guess what? 55 yards is a makeable kick at this level now. And you miss an extra point.
Yeah.
You're sick to your stomach. I can't get over it.
And Caleb Williams, I got to talk more about him because some of the plays he made today were otherworldly. You really see why he was taken first overall with that talent. He's standing by with Kaylee Hartung.
Caleb, comebacks have been your story all year, but this is the biggest one in Bears postseason history.
Yeah.
How did you get this done?
We understand that it's 60 minutes of football. We understand and know who we are. We understand what this means to the city. We understand what this means to the organization. We also understand what this means to us. And so you keep going, you keep going, you keep fighting. And when the clock hits 0, you'll look up and see who wins.
You were down 18 at the half.
Yep.
Your frustration was visible at times. How did you kick this thing into gear?
Yeah, like I said in the beginning of the week, whatever it takes. The frustration, play with the frustration. Play with the anger, all of that. And, use that for our advantage. Use home field advantage. Much love to the fans and everybody here. And, like I said, you keep going, you keep going, you keep fighting. Look up at the end and see who wins.
Knowing what this means, like you said, to the people of Chicago, to Bears fans, when you look around here at Soldier Field, just describe the experience of playing in front of this home crowd and ending a drought of 15 years since they've had a playoff win.
Yeah. Right before I walked out, I told the offensive line, I told the other quarterbacks, we're going to protect our den today. It's the den. The fans helped us. And go Bears.
Another one here next week. What does this team need to do to continue rolling and maybe not cause cardiac arrest for Bears fans around the world?
We got to get better this week. We got to understand where we are. We got to go back and watch. We got to execute, do the small things. That's what we did in the second half. We executed on the small things. And then from there, we got to have a mentality going into it. It's 1-0 every single week. It's also elimination. And so understanding that, coming into it throughout the week with a certain attitude, a certain mindset, that will come out victorious. And it starts in the first quarter. It starts tomorrow and then, throughout the week.
Congratulations, Caleb.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
He's classic. Okay, Packers. Yikes. I'm worried about our friend Brian Hayes right now.
You know what? I'm not. I'm actually, I was pulling for the pack. That's a silver lining that Brian Hayes he's sour.
We ruined his Saturday night completely. How did the Packers let this slip? Wait, you pointed it out. This happened to him just a couple of weeks ago.
It's so me, and we talked a lot about on those highlights. The first half, the scheme was on it. You saw a lot. Open guys, great matchups, putting your guys in position to win. Whatever happened at halftime, and I'm going to the defensive coordinator for the Bears, Dennis Allen, he clearly figured something out and was able to stymie the Packers up until really midway through that fourth quarter. So that would be the first thing I say. And the next thing is the run game is a bit misleading. If you look at the gross number, it's like, Packers rusher 99 yards, the yards per carry are okay. But the reality is there's some plays that inflate that. Josh Jacobs' average yards per carry was under 3.
Right.
So it was pretty much just throw the football. And to be honest with you, Jordan Love did that pretty well tonight. All in all, there was a couple drops. Everything was, pretty solid. No interceptions, 4 touchdowns he threw for, over 300 yards. But in a playoff game, you have to make your kicks. And even, you can say if he makes that last field goal, well, the Bears went down and scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
Even the mentality of that drive, knowing like, hey, we have to go score
yeah.
versus, hey, when they're in there, from a play caller's perspective, when they're already in field goal range, it's like playing with house money now. You know what? We've got overtime. We can maybe gamble a little more. So it's a big ordeal missing that kick. It's a big ordeal missing the 55-yarder. Obviously, the extra point. It disgusts me because, again, as an ex-player, it's such a tough pill to swallow when your kicker comes out here and leaves 7 points on the board and you lose a playoff game by 4.
Matt LaFleur, so interesting because a lot of people thought he might be on the hot seat in this game. Ian Rappaport from the NFL Network came out today and said, in fact, that's not the case. He's not coaching for his job. In fact, the Packers want to sign him to a new extension. He's going into the last year of his contract next season. Any chance this game changes the plans for the Packers?
Like, the initial reaction is yes. You know, even for me watching, like, how does LaFleur let this happen?
Yeah.
But if you dig into this game, what do you want him to do?
Yeah.
Again, Jordan Love looked great, threw 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, well over 300 yards. Again, the run game was not ideal. Now, he did say that even at halftime in his interview. He goes, hey, you know, they're playing pretty tough up front. We can throw the ball. I thought the offense scored 27 points. He's an offensive coach. So I don't really sit here and say this is his fault. Now, I do think that there's a leadership role at that position to make sure you're not blowing leads late. But I'm not ready to point the finger. Again, Jay, I hate to blame the kicker and special teams, but there are so many things that go different if you make even one of those kicks. So I don't really think that his job's in trouble. I'd be very shocked at that. You know, they ran into some injury problems. Losing Micah Parsons obviously hurts. I'm not trying to make excuses for the guy, but I don't personally blame Matt LaFleur for this one. The offense, I thought, played well enough to win.
Bears finish 5 for 6 on 4th downs. Very aggressive on 4th downs.
Yes.
In the first half. What did you think of that early on?
The first half was heinous. It was heinous, especially the early one. And we've got a few of these. So
I said 5 for 6. It was actually 2 for 6.
2 for 6.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. 5 or 6 would be great.
Yeah. But, Jay, my thought with 4th downs are if you come in and you're like, I got a great play, you know, we know it's going to work, let's do it. You look at this here. Okay, this is a generic play here. I'm not really sure what we're looking at. Obviously, there's a miscommunication, so we didn't even execute it. Caleb Williams is going nuts. Now, we got Burden highlighted here. Okay, he's open. He's running shallow across the field. This isn't some sort of great design, but it is what it is. And I want to show you this. Part of the reason that's frustrating is we have Burden highlighted again here on 3rd down, and this leads to a 4th down where it's like, why aren't we hitting these guys? So there's a lot of issues I take with these 4th downs, but I think the craziest one was when it was 14-3 in the first quarter. You're jammed there. Like, you're on your own half. It's way too early to do this. And this is what's a bit scary, is you take some of these out, and as much as I'm blaming the kicker, and everyone's going to say, oh, Matt LaFleur. If Ben Johnson kicks a few of these field goals or punts on his own end.
It's a bigger win for
It's a bigger win. So
he had a little bit of his Detroit Lions mojo going there with all that.
Some of them I get. 4th and 6 is a while, but the 4th and 4 especially on your own 30, whatever, only down 11 in the first half, like that is reckless. That is reckless play calling.
You think that's what Caleb Williams was talking about when he said we got to fix some things before?
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, and on the 4th and 1, it's if you run that 4th and 1 back, your starting center, I believe, is literally turned just looking at his man, chasing after Caleb Williams. That's one where Ben's like, you know, we drew a play up. A gentleman, DJ Moore, slipped. Komet was covered, so I think the play would have been dead anyways. But when you have an offensive lineman face the wrong way, it's generally not a good thing.
That's not fundamental football. You always talk about fundamentals.
No, it's not.
Face the right way.
Yeah.